everyone. Good to see everyone back in the saddle. Hope you had a wonderful summer as the fall sort of swiftly approaches. My favorite season. Anyway, let's get started. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes from our last meeting, August 28th? Anyone abstaining? Okay. Those are our absentee members. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. We are starting today with a presentation by the Department of Transportation regarding amendments to their penalty schedule. Is Ms. Graham here? Is
Not here yet.
not here yet? Okay. All right. In that case, let's skip that. We'll come back to it, and let's go on to the cease and desist orders.
Okay, good morning. This month, DEP has 32 requests for cease and desist orders. The first one is pursuant to the sewer code, and it involves New York Commissary Incorporated at 430 Carroll Street in Brooklyn. This is not a restaurant, but is apparently some type of sort of industrial food preparation establishment. DEP initially inspected this business in September of last year, about a year ago, and the inspector issued a commissioner's order requiring the respondent to install 3 grease traps. Later in September of last year, the inspector was able to gain access to the entire establishment and issued a superseding commissioner's order requiring the respondent to install 11 grease traps. After a series of notices of violation have been issued and adjudicated, and all of them in violation or in default, the respondent still has not installed the required grease traps, and based on that, DEP is asking the board to issue an order to cease and desist.
Any questions on that particular request? Okay, that's one going.
Continue with the rest? Okay. We have 3 requests for cease and desist orders for expired certificates of operation for boilers, 1050 Carroll Place in the Bronx, 14407 Sanford Avenue in Queens, and 2820 Bailey Avenue in the Bronx. These are all locations with expired certificates of operation for using number 6 fuel oil. They've all been adjudicated in violation. They have all failed to convert. And so the DEP is asking the board to issue an order to cease and desist on each of these.
Any questions on the 3 boiler requests? Ronaldo?
These are the number 6, Ronaldo, these are number 6?
These are all number 6. Yeah, any cease and desist requests for boilers is because they have a certificate to use 6.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
And then we have the usual 28 monthly requests for cease and desist orders for failing to install backflow devices.
Any questions for us on those 28 backflow prevention device requests? Cindy requests? Okay, so just to recap, we have the 1 sewer code C&D for grease traps. We have the 3 boilers and the 28 regular backflow. Let us vote collectively on those requests. Is there a motion to approve? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is Ms. Graham here yet? Okay, terrific. Shimon, please go. So we're just going to return to our earlier agenda item, Shamanda Graham from DOT, on the proposed modifications to their penalty schedule.
Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm Shamanda Graham from the New York City Department of Transportation. I'm presenting on behalf of Commissioner Maniscalco. The DOT is proposing modifications to our penalty schedule in an effort to support the mayor's Small Business First initiative. One of the things we notice is we have a penalty that basically charges a respondent a fee that we don't believe is proportionate to the infraction cited. So the penalty that we're referring to is our code D1B. It's failure to obtain a confirmation number for any protected street permit obtained. Back in June of 2013, the DOT changed the rule. We changed it purposely to make it clear that we expected anyone who obtained a protected street permit to also obtain a confirmation number. However, what we found is that there's a more egregious offense of not obtaining a confirmation number prior to commencing a backfill, which means that a person has actually worked prior to notifying the department, therefore the department is not there to observe. That is very different from not obtaining a confirmation number for a protected street permit where there was no harm done, meaning no work done, or the work was confined solely to the sidewalk. So what we're asking is that we reduce the penalty associated with code D1B. It is currently $750. We're asking it be reduced to $250 with the default of $750. Secondly, we're also asking for a new code so that we're able to capture the more egregious offense of actually performing work without our oversight. With that, we're referring to section 211 F4I in the restoration section. And we're asking for a code and also a penalty to capture the offense of failing to obtain a confirmation number prior to the start of a backfill. Those confirmation numbers are required within 2 hours to the start time so that we can dispatch an inspector to the location.
Okay. Any questions on these?
Elizabeth Mallard, citizen member. I was just wondering, so the higher penalty would be exclusively for where the confirmation number isn't obtained prior to a backfill, but what about just, actually opening a street? Is that not something that is of concern?
When a person opens the street, the department may monitor via just regular inspections, meaning throughout the course of the business day. However, when they're restoring the street, we're a lot more concerned because we want to make sure that what they put back is basically the proper material, the proper strength. So though we monitor that, we are not asking for a penalty for that, only a penalty for when they begin restoration without our oversight. You're welcome.
Any other questions on these proposals? Okay, is there a motion to approve? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, next up we have Kelly Corso from ECB on our pre-sealing reports. Kelly.
Good morning. Very short and sweet this morning. We have 12 pre-sealing reports today for the board. 2 of the reports pertain to the installation and maintenance failures to install and maintain grease traps. In both those cases, the ALJ recommended that the CMD orders be discontinued because the DEP records showed that the respondents had come into compliance. The remaining 10 reports pertain to failure to install backflow devices, and in all those cases, the ALJ recommended that there be no sealing or other action given the respondent's compliance. And that was it.
You're not kidding, short and sweet. So any questions on those 2 grease trap and 10 backflow reports? Okay. Is there a motion to approve? Anyone against? Abstentions? Yes. Okay, thank you. Well, we've sort of moved through this so quickly. We are up to the part where we will need to go into executive session to discuss our appeals and litigation Is there a motion to go? Okay, so we are now in public session. Okay, we are now in public session, having taken a vote to return to public session and having ensured that there was no one waiting to return to the meeting. We discussed the appeals, and now let us take a vote with respect to those decisions. All of those in favor of affirming the appeals decisions from the two panel meetings of September 11th? All in favor? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Okay, so with that, I believe our business is concluded for this month. Next month, we're also having, I believe, an earlier meeting. What is it?
October's okay, so November and December.
It's November, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Okay, so is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, thank you, everyone.